Yes, there is no doubt in the fact that insecurity ravaging some parts of Nigeria requires drastic measures to curtail. As such, President Bola Tinubu has reiterated his administration's resolve to defeat banditry. President Tinubu said those who resorted to kidnapping children are cowards, incapable of confronting the might of Nigerian Armed Forces. Let's share this story with you.
We are working hard. Yes, the bandits just please uphold our resolve when we say kidnappers are terrorists and don't rule against us. That's the way we practice them. That is the way we must treat them. And that is a fact that we are facing currently, unless we take very strong action against these people. They become cowardly, they have been degraded, they look for soft targets, they go to backyard of, local schools, kidnap children and create disaffection. We must treat them equally as terrorists in order to really get rid of them. And I promise you, we're going to get rid of them.
President Bola Tinubu talking there and talking tough against terrorists. Well, he said that we should treat kidnappers as terrorists. What broad implications do you think this would have in our prosecution of war against insurgency in Nigeria?
Really, it's not even about calling them terrorists. That is not the new thing. And branding them terrorists will not necessarily inflict defeat on them. No. We branded them terrorists since I think 2022 or so, or 2021. What has changed? That is not really the issue. The governor of Zamfara state went to see the president because bandits have had a reign of terror in that state for the past few weeks, especially in Safi local government and Zurmi local government. And the president went to see the president. And the president said, he approved that drastic measures should be taken against these terrorists. That is the story. That is what we've come here to talk about, not the president talking about them being terrorists. Yeah. Because there's no relationship with Zamfara in this. Zamfara is a big issue in our country today. The level of insecurity, the big bandits, it is in Zamfara that they have found a home. And the governor knows that no part of our country has seen constant attacking of schools, kidnapping of university students with the frequency that is happening in Zamfara. That's why it makes it a national shame. And the governor had to go and meet the president yesterday. So say, Mr. President, what do we do? And the president approved that drastic measures should be taken. When a president approves that drastic measures should be taken against the enemies of the state, it has great implications. It means that he has approved that the troops must go more on the offensive, more on the kinetic approach. There are times when the rule of engagement limits the capacity of troops to deal decisively with the enemy. when the president approves that drastic measures must be taken, it means that the troops can go outside of the rule of engagement
conventional
to deal decisively with the enemy. And when you have that, you have the backing of your commander-in-chief. People must bear in mind the weight of spoken words. That is why I want to see what begins to happen in the next few days. It is a matter of shame that the kids who were kidnapped in Kaduna, they ended up in Zamfara. When they kidnapped the government science secondary school, Kankara boys, it was also the same.
Zamfara is just more like a haven for them.
So how can people permit that to happen? The children who were taken from that community, they were taken through cattle routes on motorbikes and taken to Safe. The forest, the Breningwari forest, leads to Bukuyum local government in Zamfara. Bukuyum local government is one local government in Zamfara where you have native Christians. I've been there before. So it's you can move from that forest straight into Zamfara. Right. You can move from that forest straight into 2 wards in Safe local government. Right. And the armed forces know where, why we are wasting time about wasting them. It's what I fail to understand.
Right.
It's what I don't get it.
Right. MJ, let me come to you. Well, the president says, and I quote, that those who resorted to kidnapping children are cowards, incapable of confronting the might of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Do you feel that the president somewhat downplayed the daring nature and the viciousness of these, so-called terrorists? Because we've seen them attacked, laid ambush on the Nigerian army, and also assaulted or launched some sort of, attack and affront on the armory.
No, the president only reinforced the fact that kidnapping is not something we should treat with kids' gloves. He's saying that drastic measures, extreme, security issues are not issues that the president will not want to talk about in the open. He just is like giving express approval to the military and security operatives to deal decisively with these characters, these terrorists. I mean, they are terrorists, and like the president said, they are not kidnappers. They should be treated as terrorists, and the kind of treatment you give to terrorists is the kind of treatment you give to them. Because why is Zamfara so much in the box? Because that notorious bandits, Bello Kachala Toji, is still at large, to the extent that in January he killed some policemen and now put on one of the killed policemen's uniform and went on a video which went viral that he has now been recruited to the Nigerian police. Brandishing the uniform, and also with it is one of the most deadly bandits in Nigeria today, and I believe that he has a hand in most of this kidnapping because his base is in Zamfara. And like Jide said, it's unspeakable and it's incomprehensible that 137 kids were moved away from Kaduna and nobody could have a trace.
Put them in their tracks.
From Kaduna to Zamfara. Even if they passed through inside water, they ought to have met some people.
They passed through villages. There are villages in
villages. And this thing didn't happen at night, like the case of the Chibok girls. They were holding morning assembly at 8 a.m. when these characters came and took them in 137. So it's something that we have to deal with maximum force. if need be, eliminate all of them.
So what it means is they will get more resources now, more hardware, and probably more troops. That's when you hear a president say, I'm permitting drastic measures.
Drastic measures.
It's more like, okay, I've declared a state of emergency.
Yeah.
Because the rules of engagement are restrictive.
Yeah.
It means that they will have to relax and use more of kinetic approach. And if they will follow the president's directive to the letter, honestly, I see some significant things happening.
That's right.
But let's wait and see.
That's right. We'll definitely wait, and then we have no much time to wait because we want to see results as soon as we can. Right, let's move on because of our time.